Taurus, this is going to be your love and career reading for the rest of September and for all of October 2018. I don't know why, but right before I started to do this for you, I felt as though I needed to put on my jet and garnet necklace. I don't know what's going on with you, but I felt as though I needed a little extra grounding or protection or something just to ground out the energies. The energies feel really strong. So I'm going to be doing a 6-card spread for your love and relationship situation. And I'm going to try to read it for singles, people who are in relationships, as well as people who just started a relationship. So we'll see what happens. I may pick clarifiers, we'll just see. So this is for Taurus, rising, sun, and moon signs, best, highest, good, with love and relationships for the rest of September and all of October 2018. And their best, highest, good, along with whatever they most need to hear. Excuse me. I hope you guys are well. Okay. After I pick the 6, I'll show them to you and then I'll get started. Okay, here are your 6 cards. Your first one is the Magician. That's the only major arcana you have in here. Your second one is the King of Swords. Your third one is the 3 of Cups. Your fourth one is the Ace of Pentacles. Your fifth one is the 2 of Wands. And your final 6th card is the 2 of Swords. I'm probably going to be picking a clarifier to go with that last combination. Let me just get that over with right now. Okay, you have 2 more major arcanas now. This almost seems like a different group of Tauruses than who's been watching. This is definitely a different situation. Okay, and keep in mind this is for the rest of September and for all of October 2018. This is your recent past with relationships. So it's pretty obvious right off the bat that you may have manifested a new relationship or a new way in the relationship or a progression of a new relationship. If this is an existing relationship that's been going on for quite some time, it looks like in the recent past you have started a new chapter in the relationship where you're focusing on having more practical goals between the 2 of you of what you would like to manifest together, as well as encouraging each other to have your own independence as well. I don't necessarily mean independence from the relationship. I just mean to have your own thing going on as well as the relationship, so that you feel as though your own individual needs are being met, or you have your own thing going on too. To encourage each other with being empowered, or to follow follow your own personal goals or needs or wants in the relationship, or to have your own thing going on. Maybe you started a new regimen together, or you started a new hobby together, or you started a new practical solid thing that you can work on with each other. Perhaps even new rules in the relationship, or not rules, but just a new way of handling things. And this can also be a brand new relationship as well. It may have been a relationship that had gotten going for a while, and in the recent past you realized, okay, I'm no longer going to be single anymore. I've decided to commit myself to this relationship. Or we're both planning on having a long-term association with each other of long-term goals and things you want to create with each other. That's a very good, solid new beginning of a relationship that you can count on, where you both feel as though you can be together and be individuals and have your own needs met by the relationship. So it could be that one of you has recently gotten a new job offer, or are thinking of moving to a new location possibly. So presently it looks like you're really making an effort to look at things objectively. It may have been that right now you need to make some kind of a major decision about this relationship if you're in one, or this may be somebody that you have recently met or are currently meeting that's coming into your life. This doesn't have to be a man. This can be a man or a woman. So far, this seems to be coming up quite a bit. It makes me wonder what Aquarians are up to this month for October. This could be an Aquarian type individual, or it could just be that you're getting out of your feelings, and not that, okay, what am I trying to say? You shouldn't ignore your feelings, but your feelings shouldn't be the main coloring factor on your decision making at this time with relationships. It's more about looking at things objectively, coolly, and with logic at what is happening, what needs to be adjusted, what needs to be decided, or what kind of guidelines need to be laid down about something. It may be that together, if you're in a relationship, you may be thinking about moving to a new location, or you're thinking about starting something new together. You may even be thinking about taking classes together, or going to something together that would give you information or knowledge. Or you have similar interests and are fascinated by your conversations. You talk about a lot of things and a lot of possibilities. You're perhaps planning strategies on where you want to go from here, either literally or figuratively with the relationship. But you've definitely maybe been taking a cold, hard look at your relationships or lack thereof, and deciding that you want something a little more, or you want a feeling of inspiration or new energy being brought in. You may have actually met someone who lives somewhere else, and you're thinking of traveling to where they're at, or they're thinking of traveling to where you are. This changes everything. Something about this changes everything for you, and so you're definitely thinking really hard about your options, possibilities, and what things would need to be decided or done in order to carry this out. So hopefully this is making sense to you, you guys. In your near future with relationships, I'm definitely getting this for Taurians that are not in a committed relationship, or are single, or are just dating, or perhaps have crushes or a crush but are not necessarily involved with anybody. And I'll read it in other ways for those of you that are in relationships too, but I'm getting this message right off the bat, which is you may be undecided about who to pick to be in a relationship with. You may have a dear friend or several dear friends that all know each other or are part of the same social network or scene, where you have some deep friendships. And it may be that you've developed feelings for a friend or a couple of friends, or you may have friendships with other people where they have deeper feelings for you than what you think. And something about this situation, maybe it involves multiple people. One small chance that this could be saying is that you may be torn between two different people. And there may even be some kind of a love triangle thing going on where you have a crush on someone, they have a crush on someone else, that person has a crush on you, and so on. It looks very confusing. Or it may be that several different people all have an eye for a person that you like, and so you're all kind of crushing on the same person. And I'm not getting anything in here about definite competition or conflict over this. I feel as though if this is the case, you all genuinely really do have close friendships with each other, and it's not necessarily about topping each other. You may even be undecided about pursuing love because you know someone else that you care about likes the same person as you. I almost feel as though you're thinking, is this really worth it to go after someone that you really like, that a dear friend of yours also likes? Is it worth it? It's kind of like that saying, chicks over dicks, or something like that. Pardon me for swearing. I hardly ever do that, but yeah, something like that. It's like, do you pick your friend over the person that you like, or do you pick the person that you like over your friend? But really, isn't it ultimately up to the other person to decide who they want, rather than people having conflict over this? It could be you may have several people that are interested in you, and they're conflicted about whether or not to pursue this with you because they don't want to step on the toes of other people that they care about. Something like that. Or this could be outright an actual love triangle, like I said. I see you as being very torn about this in the near future, as in, is this really worth it? Is this going to bring in more drama than what the love is actually worth? Is there actually love there, or are you confusing friendship with love? Something like that. So let's look at, if you're in an existing relationship, it could be that in the near future, one possibility is that you may be realizing that you need to cultivate friendships more. You may have focused a lot of your energy on your actual relationship to the point of not feeding other areas of your life that need feeding, as in a connection with community, a connection with family, a connection with friends, with other people other than just this relationship. It could be that your partner is wanting to do this, where they want to branch out, become more social, meet new people, have interesting conversations, and some part of you may feel slightly threatened by this, or make you torn, as in you want them to feel free to do this, but it's almost like, if they go and do that, what do you do with yourself? Or this could be the other way around as well. There's some kind of conflict with this. So it can also be that you're undecided about a friend or a group of friends where you're not really sure what their actual intentions are. So your clarifiers for those last two are the High Priestess and Temperance. So what I'm getting with this is trust your own intuition. If you feel torn in your own logical mind over the intentions of other people involved, trust your own intuition. Try not to confuse your intuition with your fears. They're very different from each other. Sometimes we mix them up, though. And that is the reason why you have Temperance next to it, which is saying, take it easy. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't overreact. Don't become imbalanced by anything that you're unsure about in the near future. It may not be anything compared to what your imagination is doing to it, or the kinds of feelings that are being stirred up by this may not be completely relevant to the actual situation. It may be being triggered by things that you have been through in the past. Again, I'm getting something in here about taking a really rational approach to this and really looking at things for what they are. Don't make any major decisions unless you have pondered this further. But whatever your gut feelings are, especially if they do not trigger a massive amount of fears or traumas from the past, pay attention to what you get, but in how you react to what you get, don't react strongly. Keep your cool. Stay calm. Things may not be exactly what you think. Things may be not as bad as you think. And the truth will become known in the future on what all this is. It looks very confusing to me, especially with the future. Try not to base any judgments you have based off of what other people say. Trust your own voice, your own inner voice about this matter more than other people's voices. So, hopefully that helped. Oh, if you're in an existing relationship, what will help you with this confusion? Perhaps you feel as though your partner is spending too much time with social activities or friends than on the actual relationship to keep it going. Or this could be you as well. Or you're just trying to find a balance between those two worlds, between your independence, between the relationship, between your friends, things like that. But it just says try to find a balance between all these things. Try to stay balanced. Try not to overreact or react dramatically at this time at all. Instead, I'm getting a message that things will become clearer within the next month. I'm getting until November. Things will start to clear up and you'll make better sense out of things and more truths will become apparent. The truths that become more apparent in the future don't look like they are negative truths. They actually look like they're truths that help the situation. So hopefully that helped and wasn't too confusing. I apologize for these sounding a little vague. It is difficult to do readings sometimes for a collective. There are so many different details that come out, and sometimes there isn't much details and it's very vague. So yeah, but I am getting focus on your own independence, or you have been focusing on your own independence. You're faced with some kind of decision right now on how to move forward. And in the future, it looks like other people's opinions make you feel torn, as in you don't know who to believe or you don't know what is actually really going on. But trust your own intuition and stay calm. Okay, I'll see you in just a moment for your career reading, which will also have to do with jobs, your money situation, and also your goals. Okay, Taurus, let's do your money, job, and career situation for the rest of September and all of October 2018. And I'm going to do another 6-card spread in Taurus's best, highest good, along with whatever they most need to hear about concerning career, jobs, and money or goals. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I had to pick a few clarifiers for the end. So I'm going to show you your original 6, and then I'll start. So your first card is the 9 of Swords. Your second one is another 9, the 9 of Wands. Your third one is the 5 of Wands. Your fourth one is another 9. You have 3 9s in here. The 9 of Cups. It seems to me as though you're closing something up, or you're finishing off something. So your fifth one is the 7 of Cups. Your final sixth card is a Major Arcana card. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Seems as though the month of October is bringing about a lot of changes for people, for positively and negatively. It really just depends on what you do with it and what you learn from it. But this seems like a very big deal in the future. So, two 9s with each other. In your recent past, with career, jobs, and money, it looks as though you seesawed quite a bit with your emotional mental state concerning this thing that you have been doing or wrapping up or trying to achieve or work on. Yeah, it looks like at times you were extremely optimistic and full of faith and hope, and saw some progress in the matter that led you to believe that things would come out extremely well and that you would achieve what you set out to do. But at the same time, you may have had moments of anxiety or struggling with things like doubt, or wondering if this is all just an illusion and you've been pouring your hope and optimism into something that isn't going to work out. It's like one moment you feel really good about this and the next moment you feel horrible about it. And this is in your recent past. Keep in mind that this has already happened. Sometimes when you're beginning something new or finishing things up, one day you feel as though you can get everything done on time. The next day, you're not sure if you can even do this kind of thing. Feels like you are waffling quite a bit with this. If you did some kind of investing with alternative money or investments or speculations, as in gambling or taking a major chance on something, you may have gotten conflicting messages about it, where one day it seems like it's a total scam, the next moment it feels as though it's going to come through. Something like that. Or you're wondering whether you should have invested all of that into it. Feels like perhaps you invested a lot. Or this could even be saying something like you won a large sum of money and you had a lot of dreams or ideas on what you would do with money, and all of a sudden you realize you squandered most of it. Or it's not there, or you thought it was there, but a huge chunk of it got taken out, or you lost it, or just something happened. It's like you're blessed, and then all of a sudden you're desolate about the situation. But that's in your past. So presently, you're still wrapping something up. You have been working on something for quite some time, taking a lot of action steps this whole time. But now that you're at the very end of this cycle, or you have this last little bit to do before this thing is completed, it feels as though, again, you're having confusion or doubts, or you're not sure if this is going to pay off the way that you thought. Or whatever you are waiting on to close this thing is slow in coming or slow in arriving. If you're trying to sell something, you may have multiple people that are interested in buying whatever you're selling. but be very careful in your choices of who you choose to sell to. There are definitely possibilities in the mix that could come out extremely well, that are reliable people. There may be some other people involved that may not be as reliable as you think. So you definitely, I'm getting something in here about background checks. I don't know if this is making any sense at all, but you may need to do background checks, or you may need to bring somebody else into the situation who can see things a little bit more clearer than you. And I'm getting something about legalities. You may need to get clearer about what are the legal do's and don'ts about wrapping this thing up, whatever it is. Or you're just having some confusion, or you're perhaps feeling completely overwhelmed by the complexities of this thing. So I'm actually going to pick a clarifier to go with that. You may need to bring a business partner into the matter, or bring someone else into the matter who can help balance out the things that you lack and where you can balance out the things that they lack. Or this may have to do with alliances with business or money making, where you need to be very careful right now about who you choose to be a partner in this, or to who you involve this in with. Gosh, I can barely talk today. You know what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, definitely listen to the people that you truly trust the opinion of, or you trust their minds, or you see their gifts with how they perceive things. Really pay attention to the feedback that you get by those people at this time, and make sure you don't make any hasty decisions until all of the things have arrived. I feel as though there's something else in the mix that you're still not aware of yet that will be able to bring this to the best possible close. So in the future, you have the Five of Wands over the Wheel of Fortune. So it seems to me as if you are wrapping something up that is old, and something about it is being drawn out a little bit presently. But in the future, it may even come to some kind of a head where there are conflicts, or there are conflicts of interest, or there are just different people involved in the matter that have completely different ideas on how things should be done or finished up, or who should be the leader in the situation. There may be some kind of conflict that comes to a head in the future in order to propel the wheel forward onto a totally new path for you that has nothing to do with what you are wrapping up now. But something about how you wrap this up is very important to the fates, because I see you as being currently slightly confused with how to properly finish off everything, or who to trust, or who to align your energy with. It could be that something about that comes to a head in the future. If you didn't choose well, or if you didn't pay attention, things may temporarily get much worse or come to a head, but it's how you address this thing that really matters. You know, if there is conflict coming up in the near future with whatever this is you're trying to finish, so that you can get going with something new, how you deal with this conflict has a great deal to do with what happens next after this. So if you can keep your cool, keep your rational self present in the situation, try not to engage in any kind of conflict or fighting or disagreements of any kind. If there are possible bad eggs involved in this situation, or just too much conflict, it will all come out. It'll all come out in the end. And there isn't really anything you really need to do about this except let it pass, or don't engage. If you engage in this ego battle stuff in the near future, I can see this as delaying the wheel from being able to take you to where you really want to go. So make sure you're being as professional as possible, and you don't engage in energies that you wouldn't approve of. There may be some kind of fated fallout that needs to happen. in order to bring something new into the situation. Something about the old way is not working anymore. So your two clarifiers to go with that are the Ace of Swords and the Four of Wands. So it looks as though you already have an idea or a master plan for some kind of a new business or venture or money-making thing that you have coming up in the future. And you're ready to plant this thing or start it officially. But again, it depends on how you handle conflict in the near future. If you fall prey to it or start showing parts of your nature that you don't really like to see, this may be delayed. If you can handle the conflict well and be able to have a sense of humor about all of this and allow things to change, then you're up for some kind of a very good new beginning for a business or a money-making venture. Or making your goals concrete and putting them into action. You may receive some kind of news or an opportunity or some kind of information that you've been waiting for that can fully officialize the beginning of this new thing. This may even be some kind of information business that involves information or technology or talking with people or research or something. Some kind of new grand idea that you have that has a very good chance of turning into something. It may be that whatever you're trying to wrap up may be fated to just completely fall apart, and you may not have the outcome that you've been wanting this whole time with this old thing. If for some reason you may have invested in something that has turned out not to be solid, then don't become discouraged by that old thing not working, even though I can see it's extremely frustrating, because if you've put a lot of your energy and time into it and it ends up falling apart, then all of that work was for nothing. But if you can move past that, that's only one possibility here, is that things are destined to fall apart with this old thing you're trying to wrap up. But if you can allow it to pass in the most graceful way possible and allow the wheel to take you forward, your next venture or your next thing that you're doing has a very good chance of becoming something fruitful and long-lasting. So then you would focus your energies on that instead of what you're coming from. Okay, hopefully that made sense. And I love you guys. Good luck with October. Stay tuned on my channel for your general reading for October. If any of you would like to hear about health in the future in this, please let me know either by emailing me or commenting on the post to let me know you do want to see those. I didn't get any feedback from Taurians in September on whether or not you wanted a health reading or not, so I just did love and career this time. And I shall see you soon. Many blessings to you.